Come on, be in
I don't really know
focus.
who's going to win, to be fair.
That's the interesting thing, right? Like, isn't it?
I think the thing about it is, like, in the nicer way, it's like whoever, like, they're both kind of like bad teams when it comes to like consistency.
Save this for the interview. This is what this man wants.
I'm gonna ask you who you think is gonna win. If
Okay.
you guys are thinking the same person, that's fine. The same team rather,
Yeah.
or if you're thinking different teams, whatever. I don't care.
All right.
But it's mostly who should be afraid of the other team.
Okay.
All right. So introduce yourself. Full names, not just Ryan and Mysca.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name's Ryan Horton.
Okay.
My name is Marcus Gear, also known as Mysca.
Okay. So you guys are very high profile in the Overwatch community. Right now, knowing the players and knowing what's going on, who do you expect to win? Ryan, let's start with you.
It's such a difficult question because both of these teams have been so inconsistent for the whole series that it's been interesting to see how they've both come to light for the playoffs to get there. London, when they look good, they look the best team in the league, so I'd have to go with them, but it really does depend who just shows up on the day. It's very sport generic comment to say, but it really does depend who hits the ground harder when those first games come in, and I think London can do that.
That's good.
I think both teams have a lot of individual players that can sort of have their moments and really go hard and do so much for their team. And it's just like Ryan says, both teams have this type of weird inconsistency throughout the season. They're both the 5th and 6th seed in the whole league overall, so it's kind of underdogs in a way that people didn't really expect to be here. But I'm going to go with Philly for this one because I feel like they just have this slightly more consistent team and also just a very nicely, tightly knit team. And just the way they work, the strats they've been pulling out and so on have been on point, and I really feel like Philly is gonna take this one home for sure.
All right. So who should the Spitfire be afraid of, and who should be the most afraid on the Spitfire?
On the Spitfire, I think a lot of pressure goes on to like Bedozin, the Zenyatta for Spitfire. I think recently Zenyatta has been one of the pivotal characters that can really dictate the game. Philadelphia played a strategy where they just don't have one in space of like a big tank. So basically their plan is to sort of alienate their star player on Spitfire whilst also protecting their own. For Philadelphia, players to watch out for, Carpe as well, can pop off especially. EQO, that DPS synergy between the two is going to be strong. For Philadelphia to be scared of London, that's got to be Birdring. He is one of the best DPS players in the world if he shows up, and that can be a really big if.
Yeah, I'll definitely go with Carpe for London to be afraid of on Philly Fusion because Carpe is just a powerhouse. He can play so many different heroes and play them so well. And it's just the sort of person that, like, you see him play like certain different characters, but he has some star characters he really shines on. Regardless of what happens, though, he will have his moments. So if the rest of Philly can back him up with that when that sort of happens, then they can really go far with that. And London has to look out for that for sure. As for who to look out for in London, I'm gonna have to go with Bedozin as well. I would say that London as a whole, though, is the sort of team that can be unpredictable with who has their moments and really pops off in the game. So London is a bit hard to predict, but I would definitely go with Bedozin as well. But yeah, Carpe is just one of those big standouts that I think a lot of people here are going to agree with is a star player, and yeah, anything can happen when he's playing.
So just while I have you guys here, I think you've said it before, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Favorite teams? Overall?
Favourite teams is such a difficult one. You have London that obviously represents the country that I'm from. You've got Philadelphia that has actual British players. When it comes to brands working in it, Dallas Fuel, like with the sort of Envious sort of brand, Optic for Houston, the whole like LA teams. There's so many amazing teams I've been rooting for. Boston being the underdogs for like stage 2. There's all of these sort of storylines and narratives I've been really hooked on. But now that we're here, I've got to say Philadelphia, from a team that was a mixed match of different players from all around the world. You have some from the sort of Middle East, you have some from America, you have some from Europe. This sort of amazing team that's come together and unified, I really like. But when it comes to teams to be afraid of, like London is scary. So this is like the best final I could have personally asked for.
Yeah, I've been kind of supporting Dallas Fuel and the Philly Fusion kind of throughout the season, but looking at them in different ways. And Dallas really like for personality, and then Philly for a lot of different things, but mostly the team as a whole and how just they work as an organization and a group, and the team together. Like the team spirit is just so good, and it's so cool to see them on stage. And every time we talk to these guys or meet them in person, they're always like, really good guys to talk to. So I'm really happy to see Philly here, but it's kind of a tie between Dallas and Philly Fusion for me. But yeah, really happy with the final regardless. So yeah, just excited to see Philly come all the way here.
All right, just promote your brand real quick.
All right.
So we are from the YouTube channel Overwatch Central. We do a lot of like news videos on the game when stuff changes, big balance updates, but we also do interviews with pros, how to get the most out of certain heroes, and like all of the Overwatch League news as it happens. So you can check us out at youtube.com/Overwatch Central.
Yeah, Overwatch Central.
Sorry.
Quick shout. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well, because it's really good to keep up with us when we're at these sort of events. So at OW Central on Twitter, really good for this sort of live coverage type of live experience and relaying that. So yeah, check us out.
I will say just as a TLDR, when it comes to the best team, I'd say that's Philadelphia Fusion. When you have the best individual talent, it's going to be London Spitfire, Birdring, Badosin, as we've all mentioned. So this is going to be one amazing final between one of the best teams and one of the best talents.
I think you just gave me my soundbite. I'm going to post the Raw